graduated in computer science engineering, and I have nowadays I'm preparing for my tech interviews.
Okay, great. Okay, next one, Tejashwini. No.
Recording stopped.
Tejashwini, you are speaking on mute. Oh, okay. You can speak now. We can't hear you. Can you speak a little bit louder? I don't know. We will get back to you then. Divyanshu, can you just unmute and speak, please? Just introduce yourself. Okay. I'm just asking, like, can you just introduce yourself, please? Yesterday we didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves, right? That's why. Mhm. 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 Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Sure. Uh, may I know what is that company name? Can you just type here? I just want to see like what is that company name. Just type here, chat in the chat box, please. Okay, we'll go with the Sandeep. Sandeep, can you just introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi, Bharat.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sandeep. I have experience 2 years in Angular development.
Okay.
Since I have working in Zilling Works Private Limited in Attic City, so I have to present in I have a job, searching for the job, and now I have to developing my skills in Node backend side.
Backend check. Okay, great, great, super. So, guys, yesterday we have discussed few things about this one. Okay, let me start my recording one more time. Just give me a second. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So now, see, yesterday we have discussed something about this one. Like, let me share my screen and see whether you can. Just let me know once you can see my screen or not. Okay. So we discussed something about a World Wide Web, and we discussed something like HTTP and HTTPS, and we have discussed something like a three-tier architecture. What is front end? What is middle layer? What is the databases and all? So I have explained you like what is a mean stack, man stack, and full stack developers. Actually, yesterday I thought like you guys are somewhat a fresher, so really you are not aware of the things. But now I understood like you all people are already uh, uh, you know employees in some XYZ companies. So that means obviously you are having some better idea than me. So that is great. Next one, we are having discussed something about the JavaScript. I mean, I told you like what are the client-side frameworks and what are the server-side frameworks and all. And then we started something like what are the important concepts we need to cover up to learn in the Node.js. For example, you need to learn something called object functions, particularly callback functions, and something like arrow functions. So these kind of stuff, and then we discuss something about something like asynchronous JavaScript, where we need to discuss more about the callbacks, promises, and async await. So in the callbacks, I told you like a function which takes another function as an argument. This is what a callback, but there are some drawbacks in the function callbacks. So which is called a doom of pyramid or something called a callback hell. So because of that, what happened? Right, a callback will call inside another callback inside another callback. Because of that, the control really don't know how to come out from the control from that particular callback. That is the reason. So sometimes our server will be stuck. So to avoid this kind of problems, from the ES6, the ES committee, ECMAScript committee introduced a new concept called a promises. This is a used to specify, call asynchronous mechanism to make a HTTP calls and all. So there is something called a new promise is a predefined class, and resolve reject are the methods which are the arguments to the promise. Usually by dot then method we will use, and I have given some links for you like to refer and all. Somebody even before we left the call, somebody asked the question like. Did you observe this when if you open this node.js.org, right? So the third one, how much JavaScript do you know to use Node.js. So there is a straightforward question. Even it is not from me. Even the Node.js community is saying like, as it is a beginners, it is hard to get the point where you're confident enough in your programming abilities. While learning to the code, you might also be confused at where the this JavaScript end and where does Node.js begins and vice versa. So what is the recommended to learn before dive into the JavaScript, like skill structure, expressions, and data types? You need to understand what are the classes, variables, functions. You need to know more about this operator and arrow functions, loops, scopes, arrays, template retrievals, strict mode, and ES 2015, that means ES6 and beyond. With those concepts in your mind, you are well on your road to become a professional JavaScript developer in both the browser and the Node.js. But mainly, you need to learn this asynchronous programming. The following concepts are the understand asynchronous programming, which is the part of the fundamentals of a Node.js. As I mentioned yesterday, asynchronous programming and callbacks, timers, promises, async await, closures, the event loop. Like you remember, right? Yesterday we discussed more about this one, like promises and async await and callbacks. So we do have something called a closures and event loop and timers. I hope you are the JavaScript developer, so I don't need to again repeat each and everything. I mean to say like what it is called. If I miss something, just go ahead and please do pin in the chat so that I came to know like what I'm missing and all. Okay, so let's make this session more little bit interactive so that people will get more interesting and all, right? That is the reason I'm just asking a few of the people like if you have do you guys have any idea on the classes? What is the classes in a JavaScript and how we can use the classes in a JavaScript? No. uh, if you guys can respond, that is more helpful for me. Anyways, you need to learn these concepts at any cost. Even once again, and I'm telling you guys, please refer all these concepts in the JavaScript. If you have a particular topic and if you want to discuss with me, please let me know. Either in a chat window. If we have enough time today, we will discuss today, or else we will check tomorrow. That's fine. I have enough time for you to you know uh, ref, ref what it is called, rephrase all these concepts, refresh and all these concepts, and to discuss again and again. I have enough time is there. Okay, so no worries. And the next one, you remember when I told like a V8 JavaScript engine? You remember like yesterday we discussed something like every browser is having one engine. So Firefox is having Spider Monkey, Safari is having something called a JavaScript core, also called as Nitro. Edge was originally based on Chakra, but this is Chakra was an engine which was implemented earlier when we are using a Internet Explorer. But later they have moved. I mean, they have remake the engine, and but has more recently been rebuilt using a Chromium and V8 engine. Chromium is a basically a headless browser, but they are using this one in but they are utilizing this particular Chromium inside the what it is called Microsoft Edge. And there are some many other there are a lot of engines out there. You don't need to worry. You just go there and search it. There is something called a Brave. If you are aware of that browser, that is a really very cool browser. You will not see any ads or something because that is completely open source, which is built on the Linux. So there are a lot of things in the world. As I mentioned, you remember when we discussed about something here, I told you like okay, when I discussed something about Node.js, I told like it was built on a JavaScript plus Chrome V8 engine plus C++. So even if you go for official documentation, they are saying like V8 is written in C++ and is continuously improved. It is portable and run on a Mac, Windows, Linux, and server and other systems. In this V8 introduction, we will ignore the implementation details of V8. Basically, you need to go for a documentation of V8 and you can see. And guys, don't limit your skills only to the regular JavaScript stuff and all. So go beyond that one. Understand what is ECMA is. You can just a minute. I'm sorry. The problem here is my browser window is really not good. Okay, fine. So just go to that ECMA and try to learn this ECMA. So what is ECMA International is there? So just try to learn about this ECMA and try to see like basically ECMA is the mother of JavaScript. I mean to say like whatever the new features you are seeing in a JavaScript, right? So everything will comes in this one itself, like from the ECMAScript itself, because ECMAScript will release their what it is called, their releases for every new features on every monthly base or yearly base. So based on that, we will get a new features into the JavaScript. For example, see, earlier we are using a callbacks, but promises was introduced, right? Similarly, the async await was introduced. Earlier there is no concept of a classes and all, but now we do have a concept of a classes. See, when you are working on any project which is really using a TypeScript and all, definitely go and learn some TypeScript as well, because TypeScript is a really easy one and it is really very important. Because nowadays people who are implementing their application, most widely they are using a TypeScript as well. So if you learn TypeScript, right, you will came to know few of the things like what is a class and how to implement this inheritance concept, or how to implement that interfaces, and how to do the inheritance from one class to another class. So earlier, do you know, before classes also we can do the inheritance in a JavaScript, but do you know how we can do that? Did you ever heard about something called a prototype, or something called a polyfills? Did you guys ever heard about this one? Guys, just say yes or no at least, please. Veera Reddy, did you ever heard about this one? Prototype or polyfills? No? You guys are there or not? Okay, Sandeep, no. Only prototype you are aware of. Okay. So okay, so just go and learn about this prototype JavaScript. Basically, if you learn vanilla JavaScript, right, definitely you will came to know what is a prototype and how to write a polyfills and all. This is really very, 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 very important concept. Like if you go for some any other of interviews or something, right, definitely people will ask this asynchronous programming. What is a polyfill? What is a closer? So these are the very basic questions. I mean, to say like if you go for any interview, definitely people will ask these questions. You can't crack your interview without knowing these concepts and all. Okay, so 1 minute. Where is that? Okay, this is the one, as we know, right? Just a minute. Okay, okay, so this is the one yesterday we saw our curriculum and all. So I'm thinking like you guys are already having some basic understanding about few of the things, like as we discussed, right? So you guys already aware of the timers. Did you ever heard about the timers? No. Okay, yes. So what are the timer functions you are aware of? Simple question. What are the timer functions you are aware of? Did you ever heard about set timer, set interval? Did you ever heard about this one? See, yesterday when we are about to close the session, by that time I have told like we have something called a set timeout and set interval. So definitely you need to have the scope and all. So we will do some small examples to make you understand like how much you are aware of these promises. Or yesterday already I told the promises. I hope that you are already did some practice or learn some concepts about the promises, right? So first of all, we will just write down a very simple examples and see like what is the output and how we can get what is the output we will receive here. Okay, okay, fine. First of all, let me ask you in this way. uh, See, there is something called a set timeout function is there. Basically the set timeout function will take a two parameters. The first parameter will be the callback, and the callback will look like this. And similarly, the second parameter will be the timeout. So if you can put the cursor here, right? Timer handler and timeout. Timeout is a, whenever you see the question mark, basically this is a optional parameter. So if you put some number, that number will take here. For example, if I put 1,000 milliseconds, okay, it will basically run a milliseconds for me. So inside the callback, whatever you are writing, that will display. For example, console.log, and you are something writing like hello world. That's it. Okay, when you're running this program, you can expect the output something like a hello world. But just a minute, let me comment out this code, old code. Okay. So let me comment out the code and let me run this code. Now, if you see this one, right, basically what is the expected output is a hello world, but after 1,000 milliseconds. Okay, just remember one thing: after 1,000 milliseconds, you will receive that one. Okay, so file1.js. Okay. See, after 1000 milliseconds, that means 1 second or 2 seconds, it will print something like a hello. Okay. That is the thing. It's cool, right? Similarly, I'm just writing another function like a set interval. Basically, set interval will also work in the same way, but there is a little bit difference. Okay. If you are aware of that one, it's fine. But if you are not aware, I'm just telling you guys. So there is a one callback will be there, and after that, there is some timer will be there. So what set timeout will do, set timeout will print or execute the callback after this interval of time is finished. That only one time, remember that. But what set interval will do, inside the set interval, whatever the code you are writing, that code will be executed in the intervals of time. For example, if I put something like a hello, okay, that's it, nothing much. Okay. Now I'm just commenting out the old code set timeout function, but now just understand with set interval. So this will keep on execute some piece of code until what I can say, like after 1000 milliseconds, every time it will print. Okay. For example, if you see something like this, right? See, now I'm running this one. After every 1000 milliseconds, it keep on printing like a hello, 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 hello. Okay. You need to manually stop this, otherwise it won't stop. Clear? So now what you need to do is, as I mentioned, like I want to make this session as a more interactive session. That is the reason I'm just writing some code here. You guys needs to answer me. Okay. Remember one thing. I will give a chance for at least 3 people. You need to give an answer. Once if 3 people give an answer, then I will. I mean to say, like we have only 7 people. That means including admin, only 5 people are there. So at least 2 people answer for the question. Then I will go for the next question. Okay. Just for a 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. I want you to make understand how the this operator and how the things will work. Okay. So where I equals to 0, if I take I equals to 0 and I is less than 5, so probably you guys already know what is a for loop and how the for loop will run, right? So I just take a where I equals 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. Inside that, I'm just writing something like a set timeout function. Inside the set timeout function, I'm just passing on callback. This is my callback. After that, I'm just giving some milliseconds. Let's consider it's 0 milliseconds. There is nothing. Okay. Now I'm just writing something like console.log. Okay. Inside the console.log, I want to just print a high value. That's it. Nothing much. Okay. Can somebody post your answer, like what is the output of this program? Guys there? 0. It prints 6. It prints 0. Okay, 3 people already given. So let me explain you this way. Okay. So where is something called a global scope? Okay. Okay. So just remember this one. 3 people given an answer, something like a Tejashwini. No, oh, sorry. Who is this? Sandeep given a 0, Rakesh 6, and Tejashwi Shah 0. Okay. Now the same program I'm writing one more time, but instead of where, I'm using a let. Now what is output you are expecting here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rajesh. Great. Next. Only one guy. Okay, fine. So basically for loop in this is definitely what it will do. It will go to the call stack. Okay. So for every iteration, this iteration will run for 5 times. Starts with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay. So whenever you are using a var scope in the memory execution, so there is a concept called execution context. Okay. I will give you some good link for that. Okay. Just give me a minute. First of all, you need to understand this, and so that is the reason I just stopping here. I will give you the answer. Just before that, uh, tutorial. I'm sorry, I forget that link. JavaScript tutorial.net. Okay, this is the one. So here, if you go for execution context, yes, just read this particular thing. Okay, I'm just sharing this link with you guys. Okay, I will just keep it here for your future reference. Just go through this link today. Definitely, you need to study this one. Okay, basically, what happened in the execution context, we have two things. One is a global execution context will be there. Inside the global execution context, we have two things. One is a memory component, and another one is a code component. Okay. So while you are executing the memory component, basically what JavaScript will do, every time whatever the console log statement, it will keep it on the stack. So whenever you are using a var scope, definitely there is only one memory location will be created for this. Every time the loop will update it, and every time, whenever you are using a console.log from the call stack, what JavaScript will do, take one by one statement that it will execute that. So what we are thinking, like console.log I, first time I value is 0, next time it is a 1, next time it is a 2. No, wrong. Basically, whenever I becomes a 5, that loops will break the loop. So by that time, it will finish this 0 intro. See, anyways, it is a timer in the sense it's a waiting function. So by that time, whatever the I value is there, that will display here. For example, I value is here is a 5. Initially, it is a 0, 1, true, 2, true, 3, true, 4, true. Whenever I becomes a 5, I plus plus in this, I becomes a 5, then it will break, right? So when that I value will apply for all the 5 statements inside the call stack. So what I'm expecting is every time it will print a 5. Let's see what is output is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. Great. So now let me stop this one for now, and let me run this one. Okay. So what is here? See, let and const are local scoped variables. Always remember it is a block scoped variables. So whenever you create a instance or whenever you create a variable, definitely different memory instances will be created for each and every I value. So whenever I becomes a 0, by that time set time out of call I, it means the whatever the current I value is there, that will assign to here on the first iteration in the call stack. On the second iteration, whenever I becomes a 1, then I becomes a 1. So on, so on. I's value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a true, but whenever I becomes a 5, it's a false. That means I'm expecting an output something like a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, I didn't save this one. Okay, I saved this one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? So that is the reason I'm telling you, just try to understand the backgrounds. Don't chase for the concepts and all. I mean, just like never go for a flow. Like everybody is learning. Like if you open any YouTube tutorial or something, right? Definitely you can learn. It's not a big deal. Just install npm and just try to go for the one by one, 3 different packages and just take some examples there and you can run it. That is fine. Everybody can do that. But understand the roots of the particular programming. And if you're learning something, definitely you need to go in depth. I mean, to say like the background, what is happening on the background, why this is coming, how this is coming. This is what I'm expecting from you guys. Okay. Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys are already done with some examples with the promises, but if you are okay, I will go with some questions. If you are not okay, I will try to explain the promises. I mean, just like yesterday we did some examples, right? So this is what a promise.all settled. So this is how the promise will execute, right? So how you can write a chain of promises. So that things we will explain. I mean, just like if you are okay with that. Otherwise, we'll just go with some small questions. No response again. Okay, that's fine. I will continue. So let's say console.log1. I mean to say like I just given a console.log1. Let's say I just have some promise p, okay, equals to something called a new promise only. Okay, so inside the promise you can pass any number of parameters, but as yesterday I have already explained you, a promise will take only 2 parameters every time as a callback method. The first method is always called a resolve. Somebody may ask the question, why we need to keep a resolve and reset? Can't we use any other names? Yes, you can use any name. People can say you can put a name value, that is fine, it will work. Definitely it will work. Okay, so why I'm using this one? Because the syntax itself is having a resolve and reset. See, did you ever learn about what it is called formal parameters, actual parameters in a C program or C++ or Java? You may obviously learn that formal parameters, right? These are just a duplicate names. That's it. It is not an actual resolve method, actual resolve reject method. These are the methods. The definition is having with the name resolve and reject, but these are the what it is called formal parameters. So that means duplicate names. You can give anything. Okay, that's fine. So console.log, if I say something like a 2 here, okay, and now I'm just calling something like a resolve. Okay, resolve is my method. I'm not resolving anything for now. Okay, okay, now console.log, and let's say I have something called a 3. Okay, now what is output you are expecting here? It makes more sense to use this word. Okay. Okay, success or failure, anything is fine. That is up to your wish. Okay, so what is output you are expecting here? let me do one thing. I will write another console.log statement here, 4. Okay. Now, which statement will execute and what is the output order here? No response. 4, 2, 3. Then what about this 1? It is also console.log statement, right, Sandeep? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. 1, 4, 2, 3. Okay, great. Now, okay. So if others don't want to participate, then it's fine. I just want to run this one. Okay. I will just run the code and see. Okay. So if you run this one, right, the order is as it is. It won't change. Basically, a promise is not a timer function. Promise is a promise that will resolve or reject. That's it. It won't what it is called, it won't wait for a time. That is the use. Of course it is asynchronous to achieve the do the asynchronous, but whenever you are trying to execute this piece of code, the console.log one will execute. After that, the promise will resolve or reject. You are already did a resolve statement for that project, that promise, right? That means it's already resolved. By that time, whatever the console.log is there, that will print, and again console.log it will print, and then final statement will print. Okay. Now what I will do, I will just continue with the same statement, something like a p dot then. Do you remember we did something called a dot then method we'll use, right? So inside the dot then method, you can pass one argument, that is a callback. Inside the callback, whatever the response resolved from the promise, you will use that one. Let's say I use something called a response here. Okay, that response is coming from my promise p. Okay, now if I put a console.log, I'm sorry, if I put a console.log here and I just put just a response here, now what is the output you are expecting here? Okay, so if you observe this one, right, the promise is resolved something from here, but it is not passing any parameters. That means you are not sending anything here, right? So that is the reason what will happen whenever you are trying to display the response from the promise, which is you are not receiving anything. Obviously, you can expect some undefined value here. Okay, so how the chain of promises will do something like a see, dot then is one of the method as I mentioned yesterday, right? So similarly, you can use another dot then method as well. So that is the reason I'm just putting something like a dot then. Okay, so you can write any number of dot thens here. Okay, can you unmute please? Vera, you want to unmute you? Okay, ask to unmute. Okay. No.
Because when I chart right, I'm unable to see your charts because I could not answer anything for your asking.
Okay. I just put everyone in a meeting and I'm just asking the question. But for till now, I didn't ask any question yet. I'm just asking
Okay.
orally. Okay. So no issues. So as I mentioned yesterday, right, there is a promise and you can use any number of dot then methods. Okay. So yesterday we didn't show some example due to some time constraint and all. See, this is how you can expect something like, see, now console.log 1 will execute, 2 will execute, 3 will execute. Of course we are resolving that one, but unfortunately we are not sending any response. So because of that, the undefined value will come. After then again, what you are telling to the JavaScript compiler, again go for a dot then and again go for a dot. You can keep any number of dot thens, there is no issue. Okay, here after this undefined, you can expect some value of a 5 here. That's it, simple. Okay. So for example, if something is rejected, then definitely it will go to the what it is called, uh, go to the dot catch block, and then inside the catch block, whatever the error is, that error will print there. Okay. So now follow up with the same question. I mean to say, like, I'm just writing the same program here. Here I'm just writing something called a set timeout method here. Okay. Inside the set timeout method, obviously as usual you are aware of. Okay. One callback and another one is a timer. The timer is something like a 10 milliseconds. It's a very small time. So just put a console.log, and inside the console.log you can put a 8 here. Okay. Now what I will do, I will just put a set timeout. Oops, sorry, set timeout method. Okay. Inside the set timeout method, what I will do, I will just write one callback. Inside the after the callback, I will just write another timer. Let's consider this as a 0. Okay. Now here I am just putting console.log of it is a 9. Okay. If you observe the program properly, right? See, I am writing in a same program. I'm trying to execute a asynchronous function and synchronous code. This is a synchronous code. See, whatever the console.log statements are there, these are all synchronous code. So I'm writing a synchronous code, asynchronous code, and timer functions. Now I want you to expect the output of this program. Okay, so you can, I just removing these empty lines to make visible. So just see the program and just expect the output and just give some output. You can write down in your chat windows. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. After that undefined, after that 9 8. Okay, I think Rajesh undefined 5 8 9. Okay, 1 2 3 4 undefined 5 8 9. Okay, Tejashwini. 1 2 3 4 5 9 8. Divyansh. Okay, let's see. So what I am expecting, first console.log statement will execute. After that, whatever the, see, even if it is a synchronous function, we are not waiting for anything. So immediately 2 and 3 will execute. That is a 1 2 3 is for sure. And then console.log statement 4 because it is synchronous code. And then promise started executed. And here we are not sending any response. So obviously this will be undefined. So we already know about that one. And then 5. And set timeout function will be something like it is a 10 milliseconds, it's a 0 milliseconds. Obviously it is a 9 and it is 8. That is what we are expecting, right? Simple.
I have a question here.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Veera.
Veera. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, in the line number 82, the resolve function is there, right? So when it will run and what is the purpose of that resolve?
Resolve in the sense this promise will execute. If you are not resolving this one, right, this promise will be there in the infinite loop. This piece of code will not execute because
Okay.
what promise in the sense? Let's say you are going out and you're promising to your kids saying like, okay, I will be back in 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
That
Okay.
means you are keeping on your words by coming back within a 5 minutes, right? So the same way promise will work. Either it is
Okay.
resolve or reject. It won't care whether it is success response, whether you bring the chocolate or not bring the chocolate does not matter. But you should definitely go back to your place wherever you are from, right? I mean, maybe my example, maybe the worst example, but hope you understood that one, right?
Yeah. But no. What I thought, when you call the resolve, automatically it goes to the line number 85, right?
Right. Line number 85. No, 85, not 86. Then only when you can call it as a P dot then. Because if you are
Okay.
not resolving that one, that means you are not going it back, right? So I mean, in small case scenarios, it won't show some big effect. But if you are writing some
Okay.
piece of code like connecting to the database, now what you are doing is you are connecting to the database and going for a query, but not bringing the data.
Okay.
Right now, what node server will do, the auto scale will be there. The auto scale will do something like it will wait for 5 to 10 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever the timer you will put. Till that, it will wait. After your server is timed out, you will receive 500 errors. Sorry, your server is not responded. Something like that.
Okay. So in this
Sometimes
case, in this case, after two printing of two, then it will goes to the response. I mean, the P dot, then it will go to that line.
yes, after 2, it will resolve. Resolved in the sense control came back here. Control came back here, but whatever the statements are okay. Now forget about the entire code. See, I'm doing something like this. Okay, just forget about the things what I have commented here. Only look at the code which I am uncommented. Okay, only this piece of code. Okay, if that is the case, let's say only these 3 lines are executed. This is a synchronous code. This is a synchronous code, but this is an asynchronous code. Why I am talking it as a synchronous? Resolve is a method, right? This is a method which will take some time to execute. But as per JavaScript, what JavaScript engine will do, it never wait for anything until unless you forcefully stop by using a timer functions, or if you are using a wait, then only it will wait. Otherwise, it won't wait. That means first console.log statement will 2 is happen, console.log statement 3 will happen, and then it comes to the resolve statement, and resolve will throw back that cursor or controller to line number 86.
Okay.
Okay. Now a very very simple blind example. Console.log. Okay, 1. set timeout or set timeout. Very simple example. Okay, so now you are already aware of this one, but again I'm telling you. So console.log of 2 with something like a 0 milliseconds. That means you are telling to the compiler like don't need to wait, right? But still you are waiting there, right? Do you know what is output here?
1, 2, 3 sequence order.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That is what we are expecting, but no, wrong, because it is a synchronous code. It is a synchronous code, but this is a synchronous code. Whenever the asynchronous code comes up, then immediately what call stack will do? It will take that code and put it inside the waiting queue and then execute it. Whether it is a 0 milliseconds, it don't care. Even if it is a minus milliseconds, it don't care. Yes, correct. Answer. Divanshu, the answer is correct. The output is a 1 and then 3 and then it will come to this statement. That is a 1, 3, 2. This is where the execution context came to the picture. Then you need to understand how the execution context will print. Only the first preference will go to the all synchronous code, and then only it will come to the asynchronous code, and then it will come to the timer functions. This is the order. That is where something called a micro task and macro task. You need to understand how the event loop will work. Clear? Similarly, in this way, this will work in the same way. That means whenever you are trying to resolve something, here what is happening internally, first synchronous code will print like console.log, and then asynchronous method as resolve will call, so that the control will comes to the p.then method here. Then this piece of code will be executed. Okay, I hope I'm not hitting your brains, but yeah, try to understand things. That's it. Okay. Okay. Now what we will do, we will go with a little bit tricky. Okay. Little bit tricky. Just give me a minute. Guys, you may think like, okay, why this guy is not started Node.js and all? There is nothing on the Node.js. Simple. If you write a one endpoint for get, post, put, delete, done, you can finish your own project with your own hands. That I'm 100% damn sure. Okay. Only the thing is you need to understand the internals of the Node.js. If you really want to write a code in Node.js, definitely you need to be aware of this callbacks, promises, and all. Okay, let me try to write something called a. There is something called a new promise. Okay, and promise is taking two parameters. Okay, one is a result, and another one is a reject. Okay, great. So inside the promise, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to resolve this one with a 1. And again, I'm trying to resolve this one with a 2. And then finally, I want to reject this one with some error, whatever. Let's consider it as an error. Okay. Now, this is a promise. Obviously, you can do something like this. Let's say const p equals to, and then p dot, then something like that. You can write it something like this, or else the simple shortcut I'm just using. I don't want to save it inside another variable. Instead of that, directly I'm just calling the promise dot then method. Okay. Inside the dot then, definitely you are aware of like we will pass one callback. Similarly, if there is any error, what you will do, just you will just call one dot catch method. Inside of the catch method, you will pass one another argument, something called a error. This is what generally we will do, right? So it is a dot then, and it is a dot catch. Directly you are applying on a what it is called promise. Okay. Now I'm just putting something like console.log. And let's say you are getting some response. Let's say that value is here, and you want to print that value here. Okay, if it is error, definitely you need to print that error as well. So I'm just mentioning something like error value. That's it. Now, what is the output you are expecting here? Okay, I'm sorry.
1 to resolve means 1 2 and it goes to the error.
1 2 and goes to the error. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you are going out. You promised to your kid that you will be back in 5 minutes, right? So after 5 minutes, you resolve. That means you came inside. So only one time you will come, right? How many times you will come? No, right?
Yes.
So that
one
means
time.
only one time. So the output is 1. Whenever you put a first resolve statement, by that time, the compiler or the control comes from there to here. 1, 2 error, maybe Sandeep wrong. 1, 2 error, Tejasvi Sahu wrong. Resolve in the sense that's already done. See, every promise is having 3 states. Either what it is called, fulfilled, waiting, reject. Okay, there are only 3 states are there. Whether it is fulfilled state or not, whether it is rejected state or not, or it is waiting state or not. That's it. There is no such a things like fulfilled and fulfilled, reject. No, it will not come like that. Only one time it will come. Whenever it is resolved, that's it. The control comes from here to here. That's it. Let's say the statement is like this. Now, can you guess what is the output here?
Reject.
Error.
Error.
Yes, error. That's simple. Error. Only error statement will print error. That's it.
Because it executes only once. That is the first attempt as the
Right.
reject.
Only one time that will execute. That is reject. That's it. There is nothing much. So this is the main drawback with the promises. And moreover, remember one thing: there are something concept called observables. Okay. So the major difference between observables and promises are once you start the promise, it will go there and you cannot stop that. But in observables, you can break it in middle. For example, let's say you are making one call, and if you want to stop it in the middle, yes, definitely you can do that. But in a promises, it's not like that. It is a single decision, either resolve or reject. That's it. Boom. Okay. I hope you understood promises very well. So I will just go with very, very simple questions. Okay. So
Sir, do we use these promises in real-time projects?
a lot. Everywhere in a Node.js, you will use a callbacks, promises, async await. Nowadays, people are habituated to this async await, right? Why? Because they are writing in a TypeScript, so everything wants to be a very clean. So that is the reason they updated everything into the async awaits. But still, there are a lot of thousands of promises still using projects are using a promises. See, promise can be used in any ways. Okay, so this is one way, the best way when I told, right? Keep that promise or assign that promise by using a constructor method into one variable and call that promise by using a dot then method inside again dot then dot catch or dot finally, something like that. Or the second way is directly you can call the promise, simple new promise of whatever you want to write it and simply you can put it like a dot then. I hope before I start this one, I want to know something about this one. Did you guys ever heard about IAFE? IAFE means immediately invoke function expression. Did you ever heard about this one? Yes, sir. Divyanshu, you already heard about this one. That's a great. So, but if you are not aware of that one, yeah, Rajesh, that is a great. But please go through this and learn about this IAFE concept because nameless functions, whatever the nameless functions are there, if you want to execute some nameless functions, definitely you need to use IAFE. For example, let's say people are having something like a function. Usually we will have something like a sum of x comma y, and what we will do, simply we will use something like a 1 plus return x plus y, right? This is the way we basically use here. Okay, so if I'm sorry, okay, if you want to execute this function or invoke that function, basically what you will do, sum of 1 comma 2. This is the one way to do that function, like just like use of it exactly. So what we will do, like instead of this one, you are not having any name for the function, and whenever the page is loaded and immediately you need to execute them some piece of code. By that time, what we will do is you just put one parenthesis, something like this. I mean, definitely you need to understand what is a currying is, and later you will came to know what is this one. Okay, first understand what is this immediately invoke function expression. So in these cases, what will happen, right? Whenever I'm executing this piece of code, I mean, whenever my page is loaded, then immediately it will execute. If you have any doubt, you can see here. I didn't put return statement, right? Instead of that, I will just put a console dot. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Console dot log of x plus y. That's it. If this is the way, then what will happen? We are not invoking the function explicitly. The function call itself, it will happen. Yes, correct, Sandeep. The function call itself, it will happen. So if you run the piece of code, then immediately what is happening? It is printing a 3. We are not saving any function expression into some other variable or not. Directly we are executing that. This is what called immediately invoke function expression. Thus, why I am discussing this concept, basically the same way this new promise will also execute. Like simply, this is a promise. You need to put it inside another variable and using a dot. Then instead of that, you can just put a direct promise and use a dot then. Okay, let's move on. I think it's already we are running time out of time. So we can directly write either promise dot resolve or reject. Okay, I can write something like a promise dot resolve of 1. Okay, now I can use dot then on the top of this promise. Okay, either I mean it's like see, it is your wish whether you can execute a promise dot then or something whatever it is. Okay, so I just want to write one chain of promises, something like this: promise dot 1 dot then dot then dot then, something like this. Okay, now if you observe this one, right, every promise will take a one callback. This is what we have learned earlier, right? So now I'm just keeping something like a 2. Okay, 2 here. Now what will happen, I'm just putting something like a 3 here. Okay, something like a another parameter, something like a value here. Okay, inside the value, what I will do, something like a value into 3, something like this. Okay, now again I'm writing one more chain promise, something like, okay, first of all, let's wait first of all. Okay, now can you guys do you guys understand what is this, what this will do?
What it will do? Resolve. Resolve is the okay. Resolve and two. So no, we didn't understand that. What is two?
Okay, so yeah, no
Directly
problem,
two.
no problem. So I will explain a simple shortcut. Okay, let's say you have some array. Okay, array of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, let's say there is one array. Now you want somebody ask you like filter out all the even numbers from this array. Usually what you will do if you want to filter all the even numbers from this array, I mean, just looping over that and check each and every one divided by 2 is equals to 0, remainder equals to 0, then it is a even number, otherwise not. Simple, right?
Yes.
You got my point. So writing one simple for loop
Yeah,
and check whether it is a successfully divisible by 2 or not. If it is successfully divisible by 2, then it is even number, otherwise it is not. So that you will get an output like a 2 comma 4. Or let's say if you are not in ES5 generation, you are in ES6 generation. Then basically people will do something like a array dot filter is one of the method, right? Inside the array dot filter, what you will do, you will pass one callback here. Okay, if you are aware of, inside the callback, you will pass some value that is a array value, whatever the indexed value, whatever it is that will come here, and you will just simply return something like a value modulus 2. Oh, sorry, value modulus 2 is equals to 0 or not. Simple, right? Okay, so now what you will do, you will just put inside the let even array equals to, this is what you will do, right? So simply copy and just a console.log and you will put an even array here out as an output. I will just comment out for a minute. Okay, just hold on a second and see. So if you run this piece of code, then now you will get all even numbers array, that is a 2 comma 4. Simple, very simple, just one line of code. And if you are aware of arrow functions, right, basically if you are passing more than one value, then only you need these brackets and all, otherwise you don't need these brackets. You can directly put like this, right? Clear. Now even in this case also I'm getting the same output, no worries. Okay, now you remember one more thing, like if it is a more than one line, then only you will use this return statement and all. Instead of that, you can put something like a value modulus 2 is equals to 0 or not, something like this. This is also possible. I mean, you don't need to use any curly braces and all. Simple value, arrow operator, value modulus 2 equals to 0 or not. So whatever the condition is satisfied, simply it will come here, right? So, okay, you may ask the question, why all these filter functions and all we are discussing? Okay, first of all, if you observe this one, right, in a callback, if it is only one parameter, definitely you don't need to use this, what it is called, brackets, half moon brackets. So this dot then is work as it is like this. Okay, so internally, the meaning of this one is something like this: 3. That's it. Internally. Okay. So don't think like, okay, dot 10. Why this guy just kept a 3 and he is expecting some output from me? No. If I put a 3 here, okay, sorry, 3 means, what is that means? It means it is only one value is here, and inside the callback, we are not returning anything. It is an empty value. That is what the meaning is, right? Similarly, here, as I already mentioned you, after arrow operator, if it is only single value you want to return, just put a 2. That's it. The meaning here is, it is something like this. Okay. You will put a something like a return 2. Okay. Internally, the meaning is this one, but I just make it a simple shortcut for that. That's okay. Okay, people are asking me. That's fine, no problem. So resolve of one dot. Then if you are passing that value, fine. Otherwise, it will return to this callback will return to. In this value, there is not returning value. And similarly, here you are doing nothing. Something like that. Okay. Just imagine in that way. So I'm just making everything back. Okay. So something like this. So it's a value something called a 3. Okay. So now I just uncomment this one. Okay. Now, if you observe this one, right? I'm just resolving with the one dot then with the callback. Okay. Even with the callback with a value of a 2 and 3 means it is nothing and a value inside the value of 3. Let me add a little bit more so that you can have a more idea on this. So dot then here what I will do, I will write another promise dot resolve, okay, of 4. Okay, and then finally what I will do dot then of console.log. Okay, did you guys understand my question? Okay, we will discuss this one, no issues, don't worry. We will discuss this one. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to resolve this promise with the one value. Okay, that means I'm trying to return the value 1, but unfortunately here we are not passing any values, so it should return a 3. So remember one thing, whenever you are using a chain of promises, the first promise output will be the input of the second promise. Did you ever heard about a concept called a pipes? Even if you are learning something called a C or C++ or Python, by the time, or Unix operating system, by the time you may heard about something called a pipe, pipe. So basically what pipes will do, so even in a Microsoft, I mean MS, what it is called here, command line arguments or shell programming, everywhere it is there, pipe. So what pipe will do, pipe is nothing but a dot pipe, dot pipe. We will use something like this. Even in a Node.js, we will use in the same way. So basically what the meaning of this one, the first pipe output will be the input of a next pipe, and next pipe output will be the input of the next pipe. The same way promises will work. Okay, so the first then operation, whatever it is the function is returning, that is the output of this function. Similarly, that is input for the not next then. Similarly, that is a input for the next one. So on, so on, so on, so on. The same thing will happen. So now we are resolving with the 1, but unfortunately we are not taking any input here, so that we are returning a 2. Okay. Now let's imagine this value is a resolve with the 3. That means, I'm sorry, I just confused you here. So the meaning of this one is something like this. Okay. Okay, it is returning 3, but now if I'm not mentioning this one, but still what this dot then will do, this dot then will send a 3 value to here. Basically this first then is sending a 2 value, but second then operation is not taking that. So now second then operation is sending a 3, but third then operation is taking that value 3. So 3 into 3, whatever it is there, that value you should take. That is what we are expecting, right? And finally we are resolving with the 4 value. So this 4 value will as an input for the this console.log statement. Unfortunately we are not doing anything here, but let's see, there is a little bit changes that will be happen here. Why? Because I will tell you. Okay, so whenever you are using this one, then this 2 will come here, right? But this is not taking, so that is the reason this is taking 2. Okay, as I mentioned, there is a small change. So this 3 is not coming to this value. Instead of that, whatever the value which is written by the callback, that value is taken to this then value. That is why value 3 into 2, in the sense it is 6. But of course this will print, but promise.resolve, this is not resolving anything. Resolving in the sense it is not returning anything. If somewhere we are calling this promise.then, that value will come here, but unfortunately we are not calling that. I think it's a did you guys understood what we are discussing here?
Yeah. Because the first value is returning the 2 to the next one, but next one will not take because of this.
Right,
Then
it is not returning anything. See,
anything.
just consider this one in this way.
If you write in the first format, then it will take
Yes,
the 2.
this way. So this means we are not returning, simply we are just empty
Passing.
statement, right? That's it. That
Empty
means
or
what?
whatever.
It is not
It
returning
means a
anything.
void.
Void. Let's say let's consider it is a null. Okay, for now, time basis. Okay, it's returning, not returning any null. Instead of that, it will return undefined value. But we should not use any return of undefined and something like that, because manually you should not write anywhere that you are passing undefined value. Remember this point everywhere in the code, wherever you go, never ever return the undefined value or the null value or not a number value. Whatever the falsy values, definitely you should not send back to the calling function. Okay, because the caller will never expect any undefined values. Instead of that, you just put a return single semicolon, whether it is a Python or C or C++ or Java or .NET, everywhere the same rule will apply. Okay, so here we are not returning anything. Instead of that, we just passing the parameter, but it is not considering that. That's it. I know you people are like, what will happen? Line number 134. Promise.resolve. It will resolve the promise, but we are not calling anywhere that one, right? We are not sending this one anywhere. I mean to say, like, whenever you are calling, see, just a minute. If you are calling this one in this way, sorry, my keyboard. Okay. If you are calling this one something like this, then this will work. Okay. But you are writing a promise and resolving that. But from where you are calling, there is no caller function, right? So that is the reason nothing will happen. That promise.resolve will send the value, but nothing is accepting this one until unless you write this selected piece of code. Okay. I know that you people are like, seems like hectic and it is a tricky things and all, but yeah, definitely you need to understand the core. Without understanding the core, definitely people can't face some kind of interviews. Okay, now it's a very simple, very simple childhood question. Okay, now let's see who will get the, I mean, uh, who will give the correct answer for this. Let's say b equals to plus plus a. Okay, you know what is the increment decrement operator, right? Pre-increment,
Yeah.
post-increment, and all. Okay,
Yes.
great. Super.
Yes.
So what const c equals to a plus plus and something like a console.log a. Okay, and then console.log of b and the console.log of c. That's it. Very simple. Now tell me what is output of this. So this is my last question. I'm almost going to about to close. Before close the
Yeah.
call, just hold for 2 minutes, guys. I just need to discuss with you about a small thing. So anyway, first tell me what is the answer for this one. 1 2
First
1.
it
Superb.
will be A.
Rajesh, super. 1 2 1. Next. Everybody should
One,
answer for this question, please.
1 to 1. 1 to 1.
1 2 1. Okay. Rajesh, Veera, 2 are done. Divyanshu, Sandeep, Tejashvi.
A is equal to 1 plus 1.
Simple question, man. Come on, answer fast.
2 C.
Where is this Sandeep guy? Is Sandeep is here or not?
1 to 2. 1 to 2.
3 2 2. Okay.
1
Okay.
2 to 2.
1 2 2. Okay. 1 2 1, 1 2 2, 3 2 2, 1 2 3. Okay. 4 answers I got. Let me run the code and see the output. See, basically what is happening. A equals to 1, right? Now, what you are assigning the B value with the pre-increment of A. Basically, assignment operator will work in a different way, but that is a different thing. So whenever you are using a plus plus A, that means A equals to A plus 1, right? So here A equals to A plus 1 means what? A equals to A plus 1, right? Now, in this case, current A value will become a 2 and B value will become a 2. So initially A value is a 1, B value is nothing, undefined. This is how we are expecting, right? Undefined, and C value is a undefined. Now, when you are executing the line number 138, A equals to A plus 1 means what? A plus 1 value is sent to 2. That means here A value becomes a 2. Now you are assigning this value to B. That means this value becomes a 2. Now, when you comes to here, A plus plus, see, obviously the meaning of A plus plus is nothing but A equals to A plus 1, right? A equals to A plus 1. What is this means? Current A value plus 1. Current A value is a 2. 2 plus 1 is equals to 3. So you are assigning that value to the A value and then A value to the C value. That means assigning to the 3. So whoever given the answer 3, 2 to Divyanshu, I don't know. Maybe let me try whether my answer is correct or not. Okay, 3, 2, 3. So all answers are wrong. Clear?
Yes.
Great. Thank you guys. And I will want to go with one small thing, just two to three things. Just give me a minute, okay? First of all, I will go with my Google Drive. Okay. This is my Google Drive, and here when I go to new, folder. Okay, Node.js training. Okay, I will make this name change later. Okay, home folders. Node.js training. What is that? My drive, right? Okay, my drive. Node.js training. Node.js training. Somewhere I created. Okay, fine, no problem. Let's see exams coding. Okay, fine. Let me create here new folder. What is that? 14 is there, right? 15 Node.js training. Okay, so this is what my new folder. Here I will create one doc for this. Okay. I will put something like a session 1, 2. Guys, hold for a minute, please. I'm extremely sorry for delay. Just hold for a minute. Control A, Control C, Control V. Okay, I did this one, and I will go to close and what is this? Refresh. Okay. Now what I will do is I will make it as a share, copy link. Okay, manage access. Okay, I will make it as anyone with the link. Okay, so not a viewer. You can, yeah, better for now. I'm just making it as a viewer. In future, I will give you access for this one. Okay, link, manage access. For now, I'll just make it as a viewer and then done. Okay, now if I go to chat window, please copy this link and let me know once you are able to access this link or not. We will refine the notes a little bit clearly, but not now. Tomorrow I will do that. Whenever I get some time, I will do that. Meanwhile, I will just copy this all content here so that you can start coding your questions as well. Please let me know once you are able to access this or not.